I'm Bleeding Critic. Welcome to Scary Stories UK. Something bad. Something bad happened in the park that day. Something bad happened to me. Something beyond my control. My life took a hairpin turn without warning. I was relaxing with my friends in the sunshine, drinking, eating, flirting and laughing. All good fun, all calm and relaxed. Now if I was standing, maybe the bad wouldn't have happened. But at the time I was lying down, resting. I wish I never said I was going. If I had a more exciting invitation somewhere else, I would have gone for that instead. Now I didn't get into a fight or an argument. Lying down on the grass, I felt someone pinch me, a spiteful, sharp pinch, which made me quickly change gear into defence mode. I rolled over to confront the guilty assassin. No one was there. Who did that? Who pinched me? No one did, and they weren't lying. What happened wasn't a weird muscle spasm or my imagination playing a trick on me. I was bitten on my right side of my lower back. I've no idea what type of insect bit me. There wasn't any mark or bruising. We don't have any poisonous spiders here in the UK, and no one has died from a snake bite in over 20 years. None of my friends witnessed anything scuttling around in the recently cut grass or flying away. Now I honestly believe no actual insect bit me. Something far more sinister attacked me that beautiful hot day. Something new. Something dangerous. I know all that, I'm sure of all that because of the frightening symptoms I've experienced over the past days. Now I'm a pretty vanilla type of bloke. I'm one of those people who just blends in the background. I'm a bit boring, but when you get to know me, I'm a bit of a joker, aren't I? My weakness is that I just hate any confrontation, and I've never physically hurt anyone. Girls always put me in their friend zone because I'm too nice, too compliant. Now the day after that bite, I felt my mood change. It was weird. I felt incredibly annoyed for no apparent reason. I didn't think much about it at first, and I expected the weird to pass. I noticed I became restless, my heart was beating that bit faster, and with all this new energy I had, I went out for a run just to let off some steam, but I hate running. I ran through my local park and I didn't stop until I noticed a lovely fluffy dog off lead taking a shit. Which is no problem. The problem was the owner didn't notice to scoop it up, so in a friendly tone I said, "Your dog's just taken a dump, mate." And this young man ignored me and he didn't clear it up. He continued walking. Now, normally I'd shrug it off and leave it be, but immediately being ignored like that, I was hit by a wave of anger. For a split second I thought he didn't hear me, but looking back, yeah, I was actually looking for trouble. I took a tissue out of my pocket, picked up a small piece of his dog's shit and then ran behind him. And like a plate of custard, I smacked him in the face with it. And as he yelped in shock, I punched him in the stomach, didn't I? His dog did not stop yapping at me. And once the geezer stumbled down onto the grass, I didn't stop. The anger in my head grew. I nearly killed him. Punching, kicking, slapping. I'm sure I even spat on him. Yeah. My reaction was appalling, totally over the top. When I stopped my violence, I smiled at the sight of his blood blended in with his dog's shit on his pale face. And you know what? I just continued to run like nothing ever happened, leaving the stranger lying still, making weird breathing noises. It didn't bother me that I also had blood and shit splattered over me, but thankfully no one was around, no one saw what I did. And you know what, my anger hadn't diluted by the time I got back home. I craved to be more violent as soon as possible, and as every minute passed the anger ranked up. I felt like a character in some horror game that's been given ultimate powers. I put on the TV for a distraction, and the moving wallpaper of absolute trash TV made my head burst. I didn't hesitate. I kicked and smashed my £900 65-inch Samsung screen in. I loved that telly. Just before midnight, my heart was bursting out of my chest. I couldn't calm down. I couldn't control the anger. Then I remembered, I've got a job interview in the morning. Night shift work stacking shelves in my local supermarket. Oh, you guessed it, I could not sleep, and when my alarm kicked off, my anger level was still pretty high. Yeah, I should have cancelled my interview. I turned up on time a little foggy, and I was joined by 4 other people in the staff canteen, and they were all younger than me. I didn't expect this was going to be a group interview. Then a senior member of staff entered and said he'll be instructing us to do a team building exercise, followed by a written test. All that just to stack shelves. I'm sure I didn't apply to be a director of science. Oh, what is this world coming to? As he talked on about how wonderful it is to work here, my anger level increased so much. If there was a glass indicator in my skull, the glass would have shattered. I didn't say anything, I just calmly walked away over to the canteen cutlery tray and returned to the group with 2 forks, one extra for backup. I quickly moved to the recruiter and repeatedly stabbed a fork into the side of his neck. The beautiful bleeding fountain exploded, and you know what? The bleeding fork broke, and I was right to pick up a backup fork, wasn't I? So then I forced the new shiny fork into his throat centre. Oh, I was surprised at my strength. The second fork went in deep, I'm telling ya. No one said anything. All I could hear was the splashing of blood onto the shiny canteen floor. Gotta be careful not to slip and slide. Everyone in that canteen was frozen on the spot, numb with their young brains trying to figure out what just happened, and me, I just walked out, leaving the recruiter's still convulsing bloody body. I went home still fiercely angry, no telly, just my phone instead. I couldn't concentrate looking at the small screen for too long, but I was browsing long enough to read a news article about an increase in violent assaults across the country. Police have made numerous arrests, and those arrested felt violent after being bitten. My active, tired head started to really hurt. I realised I was experiencing some kind of infection. I wouldn't describe it as suffering because I embraced this new angry me. And then the shouting and loud music next door broke my concentration, and I started to bang my head on the wall, a bit like I was warning my neighbour, I'll be over. Bruised forehead and bleeding nose, I went next door. And you can use your imagination to visualise that I certainly did something bad.